Everyone, welcome to my kitchen. You are in the kitchen with KK having more fun today. This is a perfect recipe for Sunday meal prep and Sunday home dinners, especially with football season. Got some gloves on here because I just did my nails and I didn't want to get them all messed up. So we're going to be making chicken pot pie. And I'm going to tell you some stories about pot pie in my past. And it was National Pot Pie Day yesterday, I believe, which was September 23rd. So we're celebrating that, but just great ideas. And I'm going to be making it with a little bit of pizzazz, right? So I'm a functional and integrative health coach of people that don't already know me, but I've taken my love of cooking since I was 3, blending that together with my functional health knowledge. And I've also created the bioenergetic cooking method and a cookbook called Simple Cooking for Vitality. You can always see those links below. That is simply dividing and devising the information about the energy of food and showing you how it affects the body. So simply taking the science behind food, food is medicine, food is information, and applying it to all of the major meridians and functions and organs of the body. This is so radical because it helps you create this real big reverence for food, something I never had growing up, and most people didn't because we didn't know how important food is. So we're going to strip this down and we're going to make something so delicious. It's going to be gluten-free, and it is not going to be dairy-free because I am using butter in the crust, which I've already made. So I've pre-done a lot of this work here, and I'm going to tell you about some shortcuts. But if you go to Swanson Pot Pies and you look at the label, first of all, the ingredients are so long, you're going to need readers in the store. But I'm just going to share a few with you of things that are in here. You're going to find palm oil. You're going to find soybean oil. Of course, wheat flour. It's not going to be gluten-free. And so all of these digestive irritants and caramel coloring, a lot of different additives and preservatives. This is stuff you don't want. Modified GMO cornstarch, thickening agents, flavored chicken fat. That doesn't sound so good, does it? And definitely the chicken is not going to be organic. It said it's mechanically separated chicken. All right. So is that going to be air chilled organic chicken that we get here? No. A lot of MSG, I assure you. I screen captured 2 shots of all the stuff that's in there. So it's not worth it to do it like that. Have some fun. We're going to make it together and go ahead. So I have prepped. Chopped up some celery. This is onion. You can use a sweet onion or a yellow onion. I think a sweet onion in this will be great. I've got a little bit of garlic here. And then these are carrots. This is a great time to use the bag of the tri-colored organic carrots, the purple, the white, and the orange. Now you're going to be getting different type of antioxidants in these purple carrots. You'll see, gorgeous, right? You're getting the anthocyanins. You're also getting the beta carotene. And white carrots are going to be less. Parsnips are kind of high up there on the sugary conversion list, but use some parsnips. Put some turnip in here if you want. Other root veggies. This is celery root. Celery root would taste great in here. I'm going to use a little bit of it and save some. I like it shredded into my salad. Celery root communicates perfectly to the liver. And so this is really, really great. We're going to be using some real herbs. And I already had some steamed baby red potatoes. So we're going to add those in toward the end after we saute up this other stuff. I steamed some broccoli. So this gives you a chance to prep some of your items, meaning you can prep some broccoli for the week or for something else, and you can just keep it in a bag until it's ready to use. I've steamed some here, and I've made the pieces really small, to go in there. These, oh my gosh, they are so sweet. These are baby on the vine gold organic tomatoes. These are so sweet. I gave some to my neighbor. They're like little chunks of honey. So we can put a few tomatoes in there as well. Peas are really common. You can add those. These go in at the end. But what we're going to start with, I'm not going to use butter in here. I'm the only place I'm using butter is in the crust. And you can make the crust totally gluten-free and use coconut oil, but I use this time. So we're going to get, this pan has been preheating on my magical little countertop thingy here. So this is already ready to go. We're going to saute the carrots, the celery, and the onion. I'm going to cover them and let them get soft. After we let everything get nice and fragrant, make sure you have your board scraper, $10 value. That is so worth it. This is amazing. Fresh rosemary, a perfect time to use that, especially with the fall. We're definitely going to get a lot of thyme in there. If you got spices like herbs de Provence, perfect time to use that. A little bit of lemon pepper. It would be great. If you don't have celery and you want a little bit of celery salt in there, you can. Now, ways that you can cut the timing on this. It's okay to get mixed frozen organic vegetables. You just steam them first lightly so they're ready to go. But trust me, this is going to taste like way, way better. You can even get if it's organic rotisserie chicken, you can get that, pull it apart. Now you've got chicken for other things. So what I did is I just bought a split organic, hormone-free, antibiotic-free, air-chilled chicken breast. I saved one of the breasts in the refrigerator, and just because you know, I'm just making this for me pretty much, and yeah, well, my lucky neighbors. And so you cook it in water. You just cover it with filtered water and salt, and it's one of the best ways to cook chicken, especially if you're going to be using it for chicken salad or this dish. And this is a meat knife, but I'm just going to cut this into chunks. So similarly to cutting up onion or whatever else you're prepping, just line it all up, cut it into strips. Here. Perfect. This breast looks really, really great. And then we're just going to set it aside in our prep bowls. So these aluminum prep bowls, they stack really well. They clean really well. They're lightweight. They're not going to fall on the floor and break. Okay, this is great. Chunks don't have to be perfect. That's plenty. So we're going to be cooking this. We're going to be cooking this in, so exciting, in the cast iron pan. So this is going to be so rustic, right? Now you can do it in small Le Creuset or other type of oven safe, smaller dishes. I even have these that would be great for it. These I use sometimes for hot sauce. So you can get creative if you've got little individual pie plates or pie dishes. That's really fun. The individual ones are great. Now, when this is cooked, this is perfect for meal prep. You can just scoop it out, put it in a dish like this with a cover. This will freeze really well, right? And so perfect to have as a dinner, but then 2 days later, you might want to bring some to work. So let's get this set over here. I've just got the pan greased up with coconut oil. So this is going to be sauteing. We're going to let this go for a little bit. We'll be back when this is nice and soft. I use high heat avocado oil on this, and we'll be right back. So this is smelling really great, which makes the whole house smell amazing. So you're probably wondering, how do you go about cutting up celery root? It's actually fantastic. It's mild. And this is the inside of celery root. I'm going to do half of it. One of these thin blade Santugo knives are perfect for this. I'm going to save part of this for my salad tomorrow. So I'm going to set that aside. So this is the way I do it. Make a nice flat base, and I just cut off the outside with the knife. It's a lot easier. You cannot try to peel this, obviously, because it's so rough. Just cut this down. So one of the salads in my liver section of the book has shredded up celery root. And honestly, I would have never known what this was many years ago, but because I love to research food and the healing properties, nature of the food, I really was excited about it. And it's always good to do different things. So we're going to cut this into chunks. So it's just a matter of kind of eyeballing this and cutting it into strips, and then lining up the strips and cutting them all together. That's the easiest meal prep. I do a lot of meal prep. So you just cut it in some sticks, and then we're going to stack them up and go. Beautiful. So we have these all stacked up. Let's just get these cut. This is kind of soft. It's probably about as soft as a turnip. Turnip is also really great for this, especially in the fall. We're in the fall season now. Fall season is all about lungs and colon. White, the color white is represented. This is a white root vegetable. All the root vegetables come into season. So let's get those in there too. So now we're going to give this some time. You're going to want to saute this until these get soft. So you wait until the onions are fragrant and the garlic is fragrant. Then you can cover it and let them get soft. And then we're going to put on the spices, and we're going to get some clean thickening agent. A little bit of arrowroot will be perfect. We're going to make the sauce, add in the other stuff. Easy peasy. Okay, guys, this is going to be super fun. Stay with us. So once you have everything prepped, these things go so quickly. In fact, while you're waiting for this, you could be doing something else. So this does not take long. The steam is going to start to help soften the veggies. The carrots, you don't want them too soft though. You want a little bit of dimension and crunch. We're going to leave the cover off. So I've got this on medium now. We're going to be sprinkling 2 tablespoons. This is organic arrowroot. I use arrowroot in my cooking of baked goods like cookies, along with the almond flour, because you need something to have almond flour stick together. Right, we're just gonna get this all mixed in. And then I have 1 cup of low sodium kettle and fire organic chicken broth. Now, if you're making this all vegan without the meat, you could use chickpeas. You can also use a organic firm tofu chunks in here. That will be fun. My vegan clients love when I make things with that. So what we're trying to do is thicken this up, and then I'm going to be putting in 1 container of my favorite coconut yogurt to add a little creaminess. You could also, if you choose, use a no guar gum coconut milk. Comes in a can. Native Forest has one. It says simple on it. It's got no guar gum, because guar gum and those other thickeners add little bit of digestive discomfort to that very thin, sensitive lining to your gut. We do not need to get that irritated. We want nice, smooth transit, especially during colon season. We really want to nourish the colon with extra really good fibrous foods and just really clean foods. Make sure you're digesting your meat and your fats and things like that. So we're going to let this go, turning it back up a little bit since the cover is off. And we're going to stir this till it gets a little bit thick. Probably just a few minutes here. I'm going to grab the coconut yogurt. I'll show you. I use Cocoa June, and I'll be right back. So this is already getting thickened. It really just takes a few minutes. The arrowroot works really well. You just need a tiny bit. This is the coconut yogurt, Cocoa June. It's very clean. I've tried many. There's no added thickeners in this. It's great. They even have some that's unsweetened vanilla and unsweetened strawberry. So that's one of the major problems we're faced today with our yogurts is they're just too darn loaded with sugars. Trying to get the cover off here. So now we're going to get these spices in. A nice big half a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. This is thyme. Thyme is perfect, of course, with chicken dishes. The herbs de Provence are going to have a combination. I forgot exactly what's in here. And I can't see. Da, da, da. So anyway, lots of different things. And we're going to add some fresh rosemary because there's nothing better in a dish than fresh rosemary. I'm going to add in the other veggies. Well, actually, let's just get them in now. So I cut the tomatoes in half. And these are potatoes. So this is going to be a real nourishing amount of veggies in here. Looking great. Get the broccoli in. You only steam the broccoli 6 minutes until it's fork tender. And then you take it out of the steamer and you make sure the pieces are nice and small. So wow, this is looking really great. Let me grab a little bit of the peas. I make, for a lot of my clients, I make a shepherd's pie. I make it a lot of different ways, super clean, but organic petite green peas. So I'll put a little bit of these in too. And then getting in the beautiful fragrant rosemary is just amazing. You know, rosemary oil and all of the oils, the essential oils that come from the herbs. This is very calming when you breathe it in. So it's really great for the whole mental, your cognitive health and just calming you down. But this is where real flavor comes from. Real flavor comes from herbs, not from herb packages with MSG and other things. No chemicals here. So this is great. So let's get these peas to be softened. This countertop heat thing is really fantastic. Now we're going to be putting this in the oven so we don't have to overcook everything. And let's get the meat in there. The cubed chicken, organic air chilled chicken. Now, why do you want it with no hormones and no antibiotics? They're proven to be mitochondrial damaging, just like the carrageenan that you're going to find in the Swanson's dinner. These things are, it's all about cell health. That's what we're talking about here. All function and all dysfunction starts at that cell level. So we have to be concerned with ingredients that damage the cell. All right, let's get this in. Now, if you need to add a little bit more, I think we're fine. We might want to add just a little bit more chicken broth. You want it thick and creamy. It doesn't taste like coconut, this yogurt. It's perfect. I make dips with it, fresh dill dip. Isn't this looking amazing, right? Wow. Yeah, so then we're going to be putting it in the dishes and topping it. Okay, this is perfect. I'm going to get cleaned up. We're going to get the dish over here. We're going to roll out the crust, put it on top, put it in the oven. Trying to make this go quick for you guys. Thanks for staying with us. All right, let's get this wrapped up. So I've made some of my almond flour crust. The recipe will be down below. If you look through my video library, you will see where I made apple pie and those things with that. I actually used, I had a little bit of hazelnut flour that I was getting rid of. You stiffen this up by putting in the arrowroot. This is parchment paper, and this is a chilled. So this is the chilled dough. You're going to cover it with wax paper or another thing of your parchment paper. But this is a way for you to roll it without getting flour all over the place. So this crust obviously is going to be a little different. It is gluten-free, but this allows you to mold and to roll it out. In between, it's going to help it to be the same size. Nothing's going to stick on your rolling pin. And then the paper will help us to put it on top. It doesn't have to be perfect. And if we need extra, we can get that. Now, you can also use my chickpea biscuits on top of here, the chickpea flour biscuits. So that would be perfect for gluten-free. Also giving you some extra protein, lots of fiber. So there's a lot of options to put on here, but what you don't want to get is those cheap biscuits in a can or whatever those things are with a loaded amount of inflammatory oils. These oils, remember, they stay in your cells for like 2 years, and they're contributing to the inflammation that is causing major disruption in your cellular performance, etc. Okay, so we just got to get this all kind of rolled out here. So it's a process. You're just watching me. And you can buy pie crust, read the label. I don't even know what they have anymore for it's prepared. But this is actually really kind of fun, and it is delicious. So if you don't want to use the butter in the pie crust, you can use, I think I've done it before with coconut oil. All right, I'm just going to put on a new piece of the wax paper. So that's looking pretty good, right? You can see it here. We just need it to go on top of the cast iron pan. Yeah, this is looking great. And so I think we're almost there. So, yeah, feel it with your hands even. You can feel where it's a little bit thick because we want it to be nice and fluffy. I had this chilled, so it's still thawing out a little too here. We can cut a little design in it once it's on top of there. Typical dough that's made with something else, you can do it's a little more rubbery. So this is a perfect size, see? Right? So let's just get the ingredients in here. I'm going to use a cup. It's going to help us stay neat. The cast iron pan is greased with coconut oil. You don't put on a bottom crust. You don't need a bottom crust. It's just more flour, more stuff. Now, just remember the almond flour and the hazelnut flour have 0 carbs. Like with the carb conversion with the fiber is like nothing. So that is a perfect option for you. Keep those carbs down and just create a lid for this. Look how gorgeous this is. This is amazing. I would like to make a little small one, a little single size. Maybe we can fit it all in here. Yeah, so this is going to be really hearty. So why is this perfect to cook on Sundays? Well, it's a hearty time and you've got time to plan it all out, to then prep carrots and other stuff for other things, maybe soups or other stuff you're going to be making. All right, let's get a close up of this. Look at that. Trust me, with your spices and all the extra vegetables in here, this is one kick-ass pot pie that you're not going to get anywhere, which is just incredible. All right, so let's get this on top. All right, if I already screwed it up, no, I did pretty well. So we're just gonna like seal the edges around here. And if we need to fix anything, then we can just add a little bit more. So I have a little bit more, we'll fill in over here. And this is a nice little time to create like a little design in the top. I have not made pot pie in one of these before, but I'm sure it's going to be just fantastic. All right, the oven is on. I just put it on 375, and we are going to cook this until it's bubbling and the top is cooked. Okie dokie, I might lay out a little bit more of this. If you want to make little designs of leaves for the top, you can just cut off some and cut little designs on that if you want to. So we're going to get this in the oven and we'll be back when it's all done. But how fun is this? Okay, perfect. 30 minutes. You just cook until the juices are bubbling. Now this crust was already darker and this color. What I did with the extra crust is I just made little strips, which I baked and I brushed with a little bit of maple syrup. So they're like a little cookie. It's so simple, right? And this crust is different than a normal crust. So make sure you always buy this when you get the Le Creuset cast iron pan. Makes getting it out of the oven super easy. This has got to sit for just a bit. We'll cut it open so you can see it. And wow, thanks for staying with me to the end, but this is going to taste fantastic. Some of my clients are going to love trying this and my neighbors. The best thing about pot pies when you were a kid is that they were all yours. You didn't have to share them. You didn't cut them out. You mashed down the top and eat it all out. So you just have to kind of gingerly cut through this. Now this crust is going to be a little bit sturdier because it's pretty thick compared to a flakier crust. And those little cookies that I made from this are really great. It's pretty much a sugar cookie recipe here. So that's a great size. I would use a spoon or a spatula. Let me see if I have something better to help get this out. Probably this would be helpful, and then we'll use a spoon to get the extra. Get this onto the plate. Wow, this is looking great. And then just scoop out the rest here. You guys, the rosemary is smelling so delicious. Let's check this out so you can see. Look how great that looks. So this is, real comfort food, but you can have fun during football game, just mow into it. Fantastic with those little singular dishes would be really great. I know Le Creuset has a lot of those. So you can see, just open it up. Delicious chicken pot pie made super clean and just really, really easy. Thanks for tuning in tonight and sticking with me to the end. It smells amazing in here. So thanks for tuning in to KK's The Kitchen.